Hey everybody, Craig Hester here with R2AWatches.com, and thank you for joining us as we continue on our journey. All the watches and accessories that are available at R2AWatches.com. Today, we have a really exciting opportunity to talk with the folks who bring you Bausele watches. That is out of Australia. Actually out of Australia. In fact, one of the gentlemen I'm going to be talking to today, it's very, very early in the morning where he is, and it's in the evening here. So these guys have taken some time to come out and talk with us and talk to our all of the fans of R2A watches. By the way, I just got to real quick, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure and hit like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure and join the group Vostok Europe Timepieces, or VET. Don't let the name fool you. While the primary watches there are Vostok Europe watches, any watch that's available at R2AWatches.com is a part of that group, and that includes Bausele. So there's my little commercial for that. And I'm going to ask these gentlemen to go ahead and introduce themselves, and then I'm going to act like an idiot and just ask questions like I don't know anything, which is not hard for me to do. So Christo, go ahead.
Good morning, Greg. Thank you very much for inviting us. It is not that early in Sydney. It's 8 in the morning. Already been awake since 4:35. Went for my little swim every morning. The water was very fresh this morning. It's 14 degrees in the ocean. And it was a bit of a mental fight to swim, but now I feel good and refreshed with my green tea. So good morning, everyone.
So, Christo, just for the record, your full name and title with the company.
So I'm Christophe, the French way, Christophe Hoppe, Hoppe. I'm the founder of Bausele. I'm an ex-boring accountant that worked in watches. So I was CFO for Technomarine, who was pretty big in the US and everywhere in the beginning of 2000. So I was the CFO working with the sole owner, Franck Dubarry. And then I became a CFO for Universo, part of the Swatch Group. So I was working in La Chaux-de-Fonds, making the watch hands for basically all the brands in the watch industry that we know, part of the Swatch Group or not. And then I left for Australia because I met my beautiful wife, who's a professional dancer in Switzerland, who was Australian, and came to Australia and started Bausele.
Awesome. Okay, Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you can tell from my accent, I'm Australian, and I'm based here in LA. I kind of did the opposite to Christophe. I met my Australian wife, who was based in the US, and I left Australia and ended up in the US. I'm the CEO of Bausele. I've been with Bausele now for since early 2019. Really happy to be driving global growth through an amazing Australian brand. When Christophe and the team approached me to take over the CEO role, I thought about it a lot, and I couldn't not take on the opportunity to represent an Australian brand, and very proud of who we are and what we've done, and also very proud to take the opportunity to publicly say I'm very proud of Christo and everything he's been able to achieve, some amazing things with the brand in the last 10 years.
As a brand owner myself, believe me, I have nothing but respect for anybody who is willing to jump into this crazy business of watches, because it does seem like it's one of those businesses where Murphy is always in the building. Anything that can go wrong does. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for both of you guys. Before we get into some details, I did want to talk about one little part, because or you probably don't consider it a little part. That's a bad way for me to put it. One particular aspect is that you guys always put sand in the crowns.
Yeah, so that when I started the brand, looking for something a bit different, I wanted to link the brand to Australia and that beautiful country. And one of the ways to do it, I thought about what Yvan Arpa did at the time. He was with Romain Jérôme, and he put some dust from from the volcano in Iceland, and I was like, that's a pretty cool idea. So we put some sand. So there's some sand in the crown, like you show, Greg, from famous beach here in Australia. But it's not tacky. You don't see it. You know, if you don't want to see it, just look at the watch face. It's really in the crown, but it's in there. Right. So it creates an emotional and physical link to this beautiful country that has so many nice beach and coastal living. And fun fact, when we first exhibit at Basel World in 2015, being the first Australian watch brand to exhibit at Basel World, our neighbor was Artia and Yvan. And when I saw him, I said, thank you very much, because thanks to you, I've got a watch brand now. And it was, you know, and we were very good friends ever since.
Awesome. I'll make an admission here to you guys. I think you probably know it already, that you inspired something that we built. We built a Berlin Wall watch, and we wanted to have the pieces of the Berlin Wall be visible in the watch, as opposed to, you know, a lot of watches that the DNA watches, they just say, trust us, it's here, you know, and I wanted them to be able to see it. And it was Bausele that was our inspiration, and we actually put pieces of the Berlin Wall in the crown with a with the open, so you could see it through the crown. So you've inspired somebody all the way around the world with what you're doing. We don't do that with every watch. It was just for that one particular execution. So tell me, you know, let's just start with how the brand got started, and tell me a little bit about the collection, what you have in the collection, what's currently available, and so forth. But let's start with how Bausele got started.
Well, look, it's always, you know, you never start something when you're in a place of comfort. So I was, you know, I was put in a deep end, coming from Switzerland, having a very nice, well-paid job as CFO at the Swatch Group, and coming to Australia, not having any job, looking for one. Taking the train every day to go to job interviews, and I saw that, you know, there was always the same Seiko on the wrist. Absolutely beautiful watches. I love my Seiko, but I thought that we could bring something to Australia that's a bit more our own, and that's how the idea started, to start the first Australian premium watch brand, and yeah.
So you started about 10 years ago, you said?
Yeah, it's 2011.
2011. Wow, it's hard to believe that was 10 years ago. You say 2011, and I think that should be yesterday.
It is crazy.
It's crazy how much time has passed. And Aaron, you said you joined in 2019, so you got the joy of joining and then going right into a pandemic.
Yeah, it's been interesting, to say the least. But, you know, I think for us as a D2C brand, quite strongly D2C, COVID, as much as it was horrible, helped us. Like a lot of online brands, it helped us grow. Yeah. And then October, I think, of last year, we launched the Royal Australian Air Force watch, where we were the official watch of the Australian Air Force 100th anniversary. And since then, the brand has gone from strength to strength. So, you know, we're nowhere near the brand we were going into COVID. We came out of it much stronger. Not that we're out of it yet, but right. Yeah, there's not too many brands that can say that.
I agree.
But, you know, we're very we're very proud and very happy and thankful that that's the case.
So, how many different collections or models are in your current lineup?
So the main ones are the Ocean Moon. Right. Sorry for the reflection. That's the one, the Ocean Moon here, which is our bestseller. We've got the Royal Australian Air Force, which has two models, the Aviator based on the Ocean Moon, same case, and the Airfield, which has a Seiko movement, by the way. That's the one that Aaron is showing. And then the Vintage 2.0. Those are which is a hybrid smartwatch that was produced by Frédéric Constant for us. So that's the three main lines. And then you have the Pilot Automatic and the Terra Australis. So Pilot Automatic is one of my favorite design. I just love it. It's based on the Vacheron Constantin l'Américain from 1921. So that's my take on the 12 at 2. That's my Grail watch, that Vacheron Constantin. And you know, so that's my take, but it has nothing to do, like you showed, you know, it's absolutely not a homage or a copy, or that's not what we do at Bausele, but it's just our take on
Right.
that iconic model.
So go ahead.
Just on that one, Christo, can you explain a little about how you came up with the idea for the cross in the center when you used to ride your Vespa across the Sydney Harbour Bridge?
Yeah, so after, you know, taking all those trains and looking for jobs, I finally end up working and having a job as a CFO for a brand called Hurley, which is part of Nike, the surf brand. And I was driving my little Vespa from one place of Sydney to another, and going on top of one bridge called the Anzac Bridge. You could see the Sydney Center Point Tower just in front of you, and then going up the Harbour Bridge. If you look up, which is not a great thing to do when you drive a Vespa, but still, it's nice in the morning. Sydney is absolutely stunning, and you can see the coast of the Harbour Bridge. And when I was looking for inspiration for the design of the watch, basically, if you look at the second hand, hard to look at it here on the screen, but the second hand, believe me, is the Sydney Center Point Tower shape, and the cross in the middle, that's the cross of the Harbour Bridge if you look up.
Gotcha. Okay. So do you guys, you put the sand in every model regardless?
We do, but lately it's been hard on 2 models to do it. The Vintage 2.0 being a hybrid smartwatch, having sand in the crown makes the crown a little bit bigger, and it would, for the design, which was a very vintage inspired design, it would have looked a bit out of place to have a big, huge crown. So we didn't. And same for the airfield. The airfield being a bit more. So the centenary airfield is the watch of the centenary of the Air Force. The last time they made a watch was in the 1940s and 50s with IWC and Jaeger LeCoultre. They've never commissioned a watch brand ever since. And then they asked us, and so it was a collaborative design. There was a steering committee of 5 people at the Air Force in Australia that was, you know, designing the watch with me. And I asked what's important for them. And what was important is that we inspire ourselves from those models from the 1940s and 50s to pay tribute to the past and the past people that served the Air Force. And also the fact that, you know, having a crown that's sticking out, when you're in the middle of something, you don't want your crown sticking out and hurting your wrists, because you're concentrating in doing something a little bit physical. So the crown is inside the crown and inside the case, and you have to pull it out to be able to maneuver it.
Okay. Yeah, I love the askew dial. Like, you guys are going to think that I'm just doing nothing but copying you guys, but I promise I didn't even know you had an askew dial before we had done an askew dial. I love that look. I like, part of what was appealing to me about Bausele. We don't always take on it. We don't take on every brand that approaches us. We couldn't possibly. But I like different. I like things that don't look like every watch on the market, you know, and you've got that in spades with what you guys are doing, particularly the Pilot. That's a really cool looking watch. That's one I would easily have in my own collection. I'm not denigrating the Ocean Moon. That's a fantastic, beautiful watch, obviously. But the little touches, like the fact that you put the Australian sand in there, that you were brave enough to do an askew dial and not be Vacheron and Constantine at the time that you're doing it. You know, these things, we look for, you know, for things that are different, things that are interesting, and not just your typical watch on the wrist. And it's one of the things I definitely think about as is true for Bausele, and a part of what appealed to me about it. And I don't know where I'm going right after that, but anyway, so tell me a little bit about.
No, but you're right, Gray. If I can just go on,
yeah, go ahead.
Continue a little bit on the Paradomatic. I'm very passionate about this watch. The case is made in ceramic. So it's a ceramic case, and the feel of a ceramic case against the skin is absolutely beautiful. And customers, when they buy the Paradomatic, please take the strap off. You've got it on the beautiful kangaroo leather strap, which is great, but I prefer it. I prefer to wear it on the rubber personally. And you take it off the rubber, and then you just have the case, and you just hold the case in your hand, and it starts to take the heat of your body so quicker than a normal stainless steel, because it's ceramic, and the watch made of ceramic, matte ceramic, not shiny, because I'm not a big fan of shiny ceramic. Matte black ceramic looks absolutely stunning, and if you look in the market, a price made of ceramic of that quality, at that price, it's pretty exceptional. Like everything we do, really, the prices are,
Can you give us a quick look at the case back, Christo?
Yeah, the case back. That's I've got only a sample, but
okay.
Yeah, that's the case back.
And what was the movement again in this one?
So you've got the SW200, and we also had a version with the Soprod A10.
Gotcha. And by the way, Aaron said something earlier. I meant to jump in and just give when he said B2C, that means business to consumer. For those of you who may not be familiar with what B2Z means, B2C means, not Z. Let's see, what was I going to ask next? Oh, I know. Tell everybody about the strap that comes with this watch.
Yeah, that's a funny one. So first, it's made by Tide.Earth, a Swiss company who recycle plastic from the ocean. And we had a customer that came in the store in Sydney. We're 75 George Street in Sydney in the Rocks, and we had a customer that came in with a beautiful Breitling on. And he had the Breitling with that exact same strap from the same supplier. And I looked at it, and it was a simple pin buckle, and it was going in and out. And only after 3 months, it was already falling apart. I was like, this is no good. So I called the supplier straight away, and I didn't say anything to that customer. I said, okay, thank you, bye-bye. And then I called to the supplier and I said, look, we need to improve that. So not only we don't have a pin buckle, but it's a deployed, beautiful deployed buckle. And we strengthened the holes with a piece of it's not leather because it's recycled plastic, but we strengthen it. So I'm not afraid to say that it's a better quality strap than on the watch that's 10 times the price.
It's really I was fascinated by that when you guys first told me, and you would never know that this was recycled plastic. I mean, it actually feels more. It feels like a heavy duty NATO is what it feels like. A lot thicker than your typical NATO, but it has that feel. Now the on the inside, is that also the different color? Is that also the recycled plastic, or
it is
that
also
leather?
Plastic?
Okay.
Yeah, because it has to be water resistant, the whole watch. So we couldn't put a piece of leather inside that would
Gotcha.
Deteriorate. So it is also recycled plastic on the inside.
And
Gotcha.
And in Australia, we all live around the ocean because we can't live in the centre. So we're very ocean conscious, and anything we can do to help the environment. I mean, Christo's already been swimming this morning from 5 or 6 a.m. He swims right through winter. So yeah, anything we can do to help the environment or the ocean, we're all about it.
And I already picked we picked a few pieces of plastic this morning, every morning.
Wow. So if you had to kind of like sum up what Bausele is all about, what would you say is the main thrust of the brand?
Iron.
Well,
Iron?
I think no, Aaron.
Oh, Aaron.
That's Christo's accent. Look, for us, it's about that Australian adventurous lifestyle and spirit where we're having fun. We're striving for success, and we take life seriously, but not ourselves as Australians. You know, when we all live this ocean outdoor lifestyle, as I said before, we can only live around the coast. And Bausele as a brand, I think that's how we live. And we want to lead and kind of inspire people to take the path less traveled and take some time out and enjoy things outside of work. We work hard, we play hard, and most of our watches are quick release straps, so you can change it from a silicon strap to a leather strap in 2 seconds. And Krista and I always say from the boardroom to the beach, and vice versa. So I would say it's inspiring the brave, or being brave enough to take the path less traveled, and inspiring each other to get out and create and enjoy the biggest life we can. What about you, Krista? Is that on the money?
That's exactly on the money.
So, I forgot what I was going to ask when something else will come to me.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. I hate when that happens. I had something right on the tip of my tongue, and then
happens to me more than I care to admit.
Oh, I remember. Okay, this is something I find interesting. You guys probably know. I'm sure I don't know how much you looked into what we do, but I would assume you did, because you approached us about handling your brand. You know that one of our brands is Vostok Europe. You can see it behind me. They're a Lithuanian brand, and one of the things that I've really noticed with them is that they get a lot of their sales are because of national pride. People are proud that there's a Lithuanian brand. Have you seen that with Bausele, that people are buying it just not because it's a great watch, and it is a great watch, but partly because of the fact that it's the premier Australian brand?
Look, there's definitely an element of that. I would say last year, half of our sales were in the US, 30% in Europe, a sprinkling in the UK, and then the rest made up of UK, USA, and Asia. But we've been well received in Europe. Europe grew quite quickly to 30% of our sales within the first 12 months when we started advertising there. So gotcha. It's not necessarily, I mean, this year it's grown, that the Australian percentage of sales has grown due to the Air Force collaboration, and a lot of people supporting the Air Force and a lot of Air Force staff coming to purchase. So it's a little bit skewed this year from that. But it's we're doing quite well, growing nicely globally. It's very cool and very fun to be involved in and to see the fruits of Christo's hard work coming to fruition.
But it's true that we have a lot of people are buying the brand, even in Europe. I'm sure we're selling 30% in France, but the fact that it is Australian plays a big part. It's not that they've got any connection with Australia, but it's a beautiful country that a lot of people dream and
I would love to come there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people and I know how lucky we are to be living here and look where look around, look behind me.
Yeah.
It is winter, so I'm wearing, and I just get out of water, which is 14 degrees. So I'm wearing a jacket, but it's not very often that we do. But it is a beautiful country that inspired the world, and we're very proud to be representing Australia. And yes, we have a very strong base of Australian wanting to support an Australian product, and especially, like Aaron said, since we are the official watch of the Air Force, that clearly helps.
As an expat living overseas, everyone you meet, as soon as they know you're Australian, they say it's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list. Or you get caught in a story of how much they loved it when they were there, and then they share their stories. It's a special place.
For sure. I've traveled extensively in my life, but I've never been to Australia, and I would love to go. Maybe as we get a little further down the road, I might come pay you a visit, Christo.
Well, you're very welcome, and you'll love it.
Yeah, it'll be a long plane ride too.
And our store there in Sydney is almost at the foot of the Harbour Bridge and across from the Opera House. It's right in the thick of things, and I miss it. I'm looking for an excuse to go back there always.
Like we can, you know, from my desk, I can see the harbor. So I've got the view on the water. Yeah, from the desk at work, which I'm going now after this call.
So as we as we start to wrap up, what else would you want to share with with someone who's never gotten a Bausele before?
Look, you know, we're authentic in everything we do, and we don't take the piss on pricing. We just you know, the watches are amazing for the quality. Every component come from the best supplier. Because that's, you know, my background. I'm an ex-CFO in Switzerland, in La Chaux-de-Fonds. That's what I love. I'm also used to be an agent for a very high-end brand as well. So that's what I love, the machine, the way components are made, and we're very particular with who we work with, and which supplier we work with. Nothing is standard on what we do. And we push everything. All our watches have the screw down crown. It's just you know, if you know watchmaking, if you know watches, look at what we do, and I think you'll appreciate the quality of what we do, and we do it in a very authentic and passionate. We're very passionate about what we do.
Awesome. Anything else you want to share, Aaron? As you're
chuckling? No, Christo's nailed it. His passion, I can't beat it. I mean, as much as I love the brand, I can't beat Christo's founder's passion. It's amazing. I mean, that's what allowed us to become the first brand ever to collaborate with the Sydney Opera House. And they took a tile down off the roof that had been sitting there since it opened 30 odd years ago and put some in the crown of the watch. And it's also the reason we became the watch of the official watch of the Air Force, all because of Christo's passion. And people buy into his passion, and his passion translates right through the quality of his products.
Yeah, Christo, go ahead.
Sorry, Greg. No, you go.
Do you do all the designing yourself, or do you have any designers on staff that help you out with design? How do you approach that?
No, all design are made by me. Okay. Yeah. So, except for the Australian Air Force. So it was a real collaboration. There was a steering committee of 5 people. So it was really a collaborative work for the Air Force. They had to approve the smallest little marking on the dial has been approved. Long process, but very, you know, it was very educational for me. I learned a lot, and you know, it's the Air Force, so they're very particular. You know, and it's the first time they put a stamp on the watches in the 1940s and 50s. So they took it seriously, and we've got other collaboration as well that I just wanted to mention. We're also the watch of the secret agents in Australia. So the Army Intelligence Corp are wearing our watches. We already did 2 watches, 2 series of watches for them. The first one was 5-6 years ago. We did the Special Forces. We are the watch of the Special Forces, the engineer. So we do a lot of collaboration, and we are working at the moment with something that's quite big that we'll release next year, another collaboration that's coming.
Awesome. So those special agent ones, those are invisible watches, right?
Exactly.
That's my bad humor.
Best margin.
Like they only show up when they touch them. So, all right, well, guys, I appreciate this. This has been a nice overview, I think, of Bausele watches, and you know, we've got a very strong following here, and I believe that they're going to be really popular among our customers and friends here in the U.S. And we're excited about the collaboration, and just looking forward to taking the next steps.
Oh, wait, thank you for having us.
Yeah, likewise, Craig. And people can always reach out to us, to me directly. Very available, and you know, very happy to talk with anyone who wants to sharing the same passion as us. Sounds
good. All right, everybody. I'm Craig Hester here from R2AWatches.com. Been with the team that runs Bausele. And you know what I'm going to say. Until next time, keep watching.